Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen. "21-year-old Samantha Josephson did not deserve this. She was a daughter, a sister, a friend, a girlfriend, and a future law student. She was someone who had her whole life in front of her. All of it there for the taking. She didn't deserve this. Despite being all of those things, she was literally taken and cut down before the prime of her life. Stab wounds from her face to her feet, ear, head, neck, shoulder, arm, back, leg, feet. She was dragged into the woods and left alone, covered in her own blood, to rot. A piece of trash. She didn't deserve this. Ms. Good told you in her opening statement that the number 0 was going to be important in this case, and I couldn't agree more. There is no one else responsible for Samantha Josephson's kidnapping and murder. There are 0 legitimate suspects other than Nathaniel Rowland implicated by the credible evidence in this case. There are no other reasonable interpretations of that evidence. 0. What has been presented to you over the last week are hundreds of pieces of evidence. Piece after piece after piece after piece of evidence. And your job is now. Your job is to take all of these pieces, all of these facts, use your common sense, and see the clear picture of what happened March 29, 2019. And that picture will show you that Nathaniel Rowland must be held responsible for his actions. And they were his actions, mind you, his choices. Don't get distracted from the facts of this case. Nathaniel Rowland kidnapped Samantha Josephson. Nathaniel Rowland brutally murdered Samantha Josephson. And Nathaniel Rowland literally left her to rot. It was cold, malicious, and intentional. And he must be held responsible for those actions. Ladies and gentlemen, this case is not about old Bud Light cans or cigarette butts. It's not about the reasons why Maria Howard decided that she had to drive his car. It is not about phone calls that the defendant may have made from one phone to another 2 weeks before all this went on. And it is certainly not about unrelated, unidentified individuals. This case is about holding Mr. Rowland responsible for the cold-blooded, malicious, and intentional acts that he committed when he murdered and kidnapped Samantha Josephson March the 29th, 2019. Now, I want to take just a moment and talk to you about the law in this case. When I'm done and the defense is done, Judge Newman is going to tell you what the law in this state is. He's going to tell you to apply that to the facts in this case. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a preview of that. If I say something different from what the judge tells you, you take his word as he gives it to you. Mr. Rowland is charged with murder. It is perhaps the shortest definition of any crime we have in our state. It is quite simply the unlawful killing of another with malice aforethought. The unlawful killing of another with malice aforethought. We know she's dead, and we know she didn't kill herself. So we got the killing of another. The question is, what is malice? What does that mean? Malice is hatred Malice is ill will. It's defined as a heart devoid of social duty, somebody who is fatally bent on mischief. Also described as being wicked or a depraved heart. The evidence of malice in this case is overwhelming. Over 100 stab wounds. Virtually every drop of blood spilled from her body and left in the woods to rot. It doesn't get more malicious than that. The second charge, kidnapping. The person knowingly seized, confined, kidnapped, abducted, or carried away someone. Now, regardless of the fact that the video shows that Samantha Josephson freely got into that car, that's clear. The moment that she couldn't get out of that car, she was being kidnapped. And that's what the law says. She was confined. She was unable to get out of the car. And how do we know that? Child locks were on. And in this car, in this Impala, the defendant's Impala, when you hit that button for the child lock to come on, it locks the rear doors and windows. There was no way out. And how do we know that she tried to get out? Well, she told you. She put that footprint on the window. She tried to kick her way out because he wouldn't let her out. She was fighting to get out of there as he drove her off to New Zion. The third charge, possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. Quite simply, if somebody uses or displays a weapon such as a knife during the commission of a violent crime like kidnapping or murder, then they're guilty. And I submit to you that if you believe that Nathaniel Rowland used a knife when he killed and or kidnapped Samantha Josephson, he's guilty of that charge too. You've heard a little bit about reasonable doubt, and you're going to hear more about that from the judge. So I'm going to talk to you for a minute about what reasonable doubt means. The state of South Carolina has the burden of proof in every criminal case, and it is our job to prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant is guilty. Now that doesn't mean that we have to prove our case beyond any doubt or all doubt, but a reasonable doubt. So what does that mean? What is a reasonable doubt? The judge is going to tell you that it's the kind of doubt that causes a reasonable person to hesitate to act. If you put it another way, proof beyond a reasonable doubt is that which leaves a person firmly convinced of the defendant's guilt. If you are firmly convinced of the defendant's guilt, then you must find him guilty. Ladies and gentlemen, in this case, perhaps more than any other, not only has the state welcomed that burden, we have met that burden. And the evidence supports that. We've done so by giving you an avalanche of direct and circumstantial evidence. The judge is going to tell you that direct evidence, that's someone who has actual knowledge of something. They see something, they hear something. They come into court and they tell you about it. Circumstantial evidence, evidence that you can infer from a series of facts that lead to a conclusion. Solicitor Gibson told you in his opening statement, he gave you a great example of circumstantial evidence. If you recall, he told you about how you might be in this room where there's no windows, and when you came in here, it's a beautiful, bright, sunny day and a blue sky. And when you walk outside, you see icicles. You see somebody's built a snowman. You see tire tracks through white powder. You put those chain of facts together, and you conclude that it snowed while you were in here. You didn't see it, but you know that it did. The law makes no distinction whatsoever between direct evidence and circumstantial evidence. There's no distinction between the weight or the value to be given to either one of them. Another thing you're going to hear about is credibility. It's up to you to decide whether the state has met its burden of proof in this case. And part of the job that you have to do when you do that is you have to judge the credibility of the witnesses that take the stand. Or the believability of the witness is just another way to look at it. So how do you do that? I submit you do that every day of your lives. When you go to work, you're at the water cooler or the coffee maker, when you're on the elevator, you're walking down the street, even when a witness is on the stand, somewhere inside of you, you are trying to decide, is this person credible? Are they believable? Is what they're telling me the truth? And that's your job to decide that. And you've got a lifetime of experience in deciding if that's the case. But in addition to that experience, a couple other things you can look at. What's the demeanor of the person like when they're testifying, when they're telling you their story? Was their testimony consistent? Was it corroborated by other evidence? Is there other evidence to support or corroborate what the witness has told you? Judge Newman is the judge of the law in the case, but you are the judges of the facts. And with that, in judging credibility, you can judge all, some, or none of what the witness tells you. You can believe all, some, or none. That's up to you. That's your role and your decision. Now, the defense has tried to draw your attention away from the facts. They've tried to get you to think about everything in this case other than the evidence that points to Mr. Rowland. It reminds me of a story that an old teacher of mine used to tell, and it's one of those stories that gets passed down from teacher to student, but I think it fits in this scenario. There's an older man walking down the street, and he's a man who doesn't have much by the way of means. He's got a few dollars to his name, and that's about it. And he comes walking up the street, and he gets to the corner. He's waiting for the light to change so he can cross the street. And as he's standing there, he looks up, and he sees a billboard. And it's one of those flashy billboards with big head, big phone number, and it's for this local defense attorney in the town. And when he looks back down, he sees the same face right in front of him. In fact, it's the man from the billboard standing right next to him on the street corner. They stand there waiting for the light to change. And the old man looks down, and there's a mud puddle. And in that puddle, he sees something. Turns to the defense attorney. He says, "Look at that. Nice new shiny silver dollar." The defense attorney takes one look at him, looks down at the puddle, takes his umbrella, sticks it in the puddle, stirs. The sand, the mud, the silt, all comes up from the bottom. The puddle's now cloudy and murky. And he looks at the old man and he says, "What silver dollar?" And he walks off. Remain focused on the evidence in the case. Do not get distracted by issues unrelated. And what we're going to do now, we're going to go through some of the facts of this case. And we're going to give a review of what you've seen and what you've been told. We know that Samantha Josephson and her friends went out Thursday, March 28, 2019. We know that they hung out at the hub, they had some drinks, and they went downtown. We know that she missed Greg. She missed her boyfriend. He didn't live in the same town anymore. He lived down in the Charleston area, 2 hours away. They didn't see each other as much as they had when he was at school before he graduated. But they talked. They talked all the time. And they talked throughout that night, and she was begging him to come visit. But they had plans that weekend, and so he stayed in the Charleston area. So as the night wore on, she wanted to go home. That's all she wanted to do. She wanted to go home, but she never got that chance. She tried to do it right. You heard from Marcus Williams, the Uber driver. He came in and told you that he got a call and they missed each other. And that happens from time to time. They just missed each other. He had to cancel the ride. She tried to do it the right way. What she didn't know was that the defendant's 2017 black Chevy Impala, and it is Nathaniel Rowland's black Chevy Impala, was circling, waiting, lurking, multiple U-turns throughout 5 Points, as you saw Mr. Martin talk about yesterday. Driving the wrong way down Saluda Avenue, mere minutes before the abduction. And what happens just a few minutes after that? As Samantha Josephson is standing on this corner, all alone, what do you see happen? The Chevy Impala, Nathaniel Rowland's Impala, comes driving by as she's standing by herself, circling, lurking, like a shark. Not only does he see her that time as he drives right by her, just 2 minutes later, at 2:08, as he approaches again, she is still by herself as he's coming right at her and can see her right in front of him. Pulls into the parking lot, immediately turns around, and as soon as these cars come out of the way, he starts to make his move. Now, an interesting thing about this video, the silver car. As you recall, this silver car comes around and Miss Josephson tries to get in it. She thinks that's Marcus Williams. She thinks that's her Uber. Right here. And as she approaches that car, where's Nathaniel Rowland's car? Right there. Right in his line of sight. Again, looking right at her, trying to get into a vehicle. Seeing that she can't because it's the wrong car. Seeing that she is confused. And he's lurking. And he's waiting. As the car pulls up, right here. Right here. What do you see? She looks back at him. Right there. She looks back at him. They see each other. He knows she's just tried to get in the car. She looks at the car. Again, this must be the car, she's thinking. If it wasn't the other, oh, here's the black car. This has got to be it. She looks. Look at that video for yourselves. There is one person in that car. And there is a seat, a driver's seat, reclined back. You can see it through the silhouette of the back window. What does he do next? He gets so excited that the opportunity has finally presented itself that he jumps the curb. He's been driving around for 15 minutes, pulled four U-turns, driven down the wrong way of the road, and he jumps the curb because there she is. And she gets in the car. What happens next? What does a shark do when it catches its prey? Take the victim below the surface. Out of 5 Points. Out of view. To a familiar place. Where the carnage can't be seen. And only to resurface later when the coast is seemingly clear. After this video, she was never seen alive again. For 20 minutes or so after this, when his phone moves, her phone moves. That was the testimony you heard from the phone experts. Their phones were in the same locations at virtually the same times. 5 Points, her phone, Towers in 5 Points, his phone. Again, moving away from Hardin Street. Towards Rosewood, her phone, his phone. Now we're in the Rosewood area, which we know that his sister lives in the Rosewood area, near Hemphill. Her phone, his phone. Until ultimately, her phone can no longer be tracked in the area of South Ott and Montgomery. And you heard testimony from both Greg and Tegan that corroborates that. They were trying to track her themselves on the Find My Friend app. And they did track her until South Ott and Montgomery, just a few blocks away from where Mr. Rowland's sister lives, in Rosewood. And her phone stopped. He drove to an area he was familiar with, the Rosewood area. You heard from Destiny Catino. She told you about how his sister lived in that area and she'd been over there with him. After riding around generally in the area for a while, what does he do next? What would he do next? Find another familiar place. And it finally comes to him. Drives to a familiar place. New Zion. New Zion, where his parents live just down the road from where the body is found. And again, corroborated. His phone in the area of where the body was located between 4 and 4:30 in the morning. Let's talk about this crime scene for a minute. This was a straight body dump. An attempt to get rid of the most incriminating evidence against him. There were no signs that the crime occurred there. No blood anywhere other than on her body. Her clothes, all of these clothes, soaked in blood. Her blood. Her shoe. Broken, bloody, torn, just like her. This was a remote area, farmland, fields, a few houses. It's off the main road. You heard from Mr. Lee, the hunter. You heard from Mr. Bubba, the DNR officer, and you heard from Investigator Huckabee. This is off the main road. You got to go on 2 dirt roads to get here. This isn't even really a road. Everybody keeps calling it a farmer's access road because they don't even know what else to call it. And she's in the woods, removed from that road, surrounded by brush. And the testimony in this courtroom was that no one would go there if they weren't a local. They wouldn't even know how to find it. They wouldn't even know how to get there. Mr. Bubba told you that he's lived in that area his whole life, 60 years, and that he's been a DNR agent for 26 years, and that in 26 years of patrolling that area, which is about a mile from his house, he has never seen anyone in that area who wasn't a local. And he lived a mile from the crime scene, a mile from the body. And who lived across the street from him? Who did you tell? Who did he tell you lived across the street? The Rowland family. Destiny Catino told you that she had been to New Zion with Nathaniel Rowland to the family home as well, several times. Investigator Huckabee, he told you about how Clarendon County responded, and ultimately SLED takes over the investigation. But he also told you something else interesting. He said they canvassed the area, they tried to see if any witnesses saw anything, nobody saw anything. But what else did he do? He went up to the mini-mart. They went to the store a couple miles away, closest business around, and they checked the video from there. And they couldn't tell what was on the video. They saw some cars, video was not of good quality, and they couldn't tell whose car or what car it was. But I'll tell you this. If someone was looking for a good place to get rid of a body, it's a pretty good spot. Not near a main road, hard to find, brush. Think about this. Andrew Lee, the man who came in here and told you that he found the body, what did he tell you? He told you that he and his friend Brian went hunting earlier that morning. They went to a different location. They went up in Turbyville, miles away first. And why'd they leave there? They didn't find anything. They didn't see anything that they were hunting for. If they had been successful in Turbyville and found what they were looking for, whatever they were hunting, turkeys, there is no telling when or if Samantha would have ever been found. Let's talk about phones for a minute. You heard a lot of testimony from Agent Dove and Mr. Grabsky about the phones in this case. And they told you just about everything you could possibly want to know about how cell phones work. More importantly, they told you about Mr. Rowland's phone and Ms. Josephson's phones tracking together as they leave 5 Points, as I've talked about earlier. And again, they tell you about it going to Mountain Brook, not Mountain Brook, Rosewood, where her phone tracked, consistent with the Find My Friend tracking that Greg and Tegan did. They then track his phone back all the way to Sumter, through Sumter to New Zion, and then back to Columbia. This was from the defendant's Verizon iPhone. They couldn't get GPS location on it because they couldn't get in the phone. It was passcode protected. But Agent Grabsky, or Mr. Grabsky now, he told you about the tower data. And while that phone didn't have minutes on it, he couldn't make phone calls on it, he could use Wi-Fi. And what did Grabsky tell you? When there's Wi-Fi, your phone's bouncing on those towers. Your phone and that tower, they're talking. Whether you're using the phone or not, it's talking. And it's tracking. And it tracked him from Columbia, up 378, through Sumter, to the area where the body was found, and then right back through Sumter. Except this time, there was a stop in Sumter. Nathaniel Rowland's phone number, Broad Street, Sumter. Oops. There we go. Broad Street, Sumter, Nathaniel Rowland's phone. We know that it tracked to that area. What time? 5:45 a.m. What happens at 5:45 a.m.? The ATM in Sumter, 5:47 a.m. Samantha Josephson's car is attempted to be accessed. Unsuccessfully, mind you. But pay attention to what the person's wearing. The leather jacket. Just like the leather jacket found in his car. The gloves on his hand. Just like the gloves found at Mountain Brook. One in the laundry, one in the trash. The drawstrings. The Nike hoodie with the drawstrings. You can see the drawstrings right there. The white string. Those are everywhere in this case. You heard testimony about him wearing that Nike shirt with the drawstring before and after, Thursday and Friday. He had been wearing that for days. The dark pants. There was a long tan shirt sticking out from underneath the clothes that was found in the Mountain Brook trash. And then, of course, the red and black slides. The next ATM. Again, now we're in Columbia. 6:52 a.m. Here, ATM, Columbia, Hampton Hills, 6:48, same time frame. Again, trying to access her card. What do you see on the face this time? It's a little different this time. This time there's something covering it. It looks like dollar bills. The money bandana. The bandana that he was wearing when he got pulled over on Saluda Avenue 24 hours later. Same one that Destiny Catino said that he had seen. The same one that she had seen him wear before. He then tracks back, the phone records track him back to Mountain Brook, where he stays for a while, through Columbia, taking her to work, taking Maria to work, back to Mountain Brook for rest, and then the phone tracks out to Cellular City, Monticello Road, that Mr. Williams, Oscar Williams, told you about, as Mr. Rowland, whom he identified, came in and tried to sell a phone. But in between there, as I mentioned, he's at Mountain Brook. Maria Howard's residence. So let's talk about Maria for a few minutes. And let's think about that word I told you earlier about credibility. What's something that you can use to help judge credibility? That's corroboration. How do we know that Maria is being truthful? She told you that she had met Mr. Rowland in 5 Points years earlier. That he always talked about 5 Points. He said it was lit, like a place to have a good time. Destiny Catino also told you that she had been to 5 Points with Mr. Rowland. Two different people telling you that they had been to 5 Points with him. She also told you that she was trying to evict her roommate. This letter was found in Mr. Rowland's Impala. This is the eviction letter that Maria Howard gave to her roommate. It references on it 7525 Mountain Brook Drive, Unit C. What else does she tell you? She tells you that Thursday night, before they go to bed, he's wearing the Nike hoodie with the drawstrings and the dark pants. That's corroborated. We know he wears that because you see him on video at the Wendy's the next day. You see him on video at the Cellular City the next day wearing the exact same clothes. She tells you that she goes to bed about 1:30. And then we know from the phone records that not long after that, his phone is on the move from Mountain Brook to 5 Points. And then she told you that she woke up to get ready for work, and where was he? Where was Nathaniel? He wasn't there. She got up, she looked around. She had said that he went to sleep down on the couch downstairs. She went downstairs, she looked around, she looked in the bathroom, he wasn't there. Well, how do we know that? How can we corroborate her story that she looked for him and he wasn't there when she woke up? The text message to Nate, the 862 number, at 5:31 a.m. 0531 WYA. Where you at? Would she have texted him, where you at, if he was somewhere in her house at that point in time, at 5:30 in the morning, where he was supposed to be? She follows it up because she doesn't like being late for work. She told you that. 7:01 a.m. text message to Nate. Babe, I'm back to the house to pick her up. That's corroboration of her story. When he finally shows up that morning late, again, he's wearing the same clothes. The Nike hoodie with the drawstrings, the dark pants. She's upset because she can't find her visor, her work visor for McDonald's. Right? She can't find her visor. She asked him about it because she knows she left it in the Impala. She told you she put it in the back window because she didn't want to forget it going to work. She put it in the back window of the Impala. She asked him about it, and what does he say about it? He says, it's in the country. In the country? New Zion? Why is it in the country? Well, it had blood on it, he said. She asked him, she pressed him, why is there blood? Why is there blood on my visor? He won't tell her. Mind your business, he says. And we know that the visor is eventually found in the Impala, in the trunk, with blood on it. And you'll have that back there in the jury room with you. She tells you that once she discovers that there's blood in the car, she also sees that a sheet has been placed in the car, a white sheet with blue markings on it and blood on it, covering, she describes very particularly, it covers the headrest, the driver's headrest, and then back into the back seat. If you look closely at this Wendy's video, you can play this in the jury room. There's a white sheet covering the headrest and going into the back seat of that car as he goes through the drive-thru. Cellular City. That's the view from the Cellular City parking lot, 11:17, 11:19 a.m., Friday the 29th. What do you see in the back seat? The white sheet. Corroboration of her story. And when she asked him about it, when she asked him about the blood throughout the morning, when they stopped at the convenience store on the way there, on the way to work, mind your business. Now, she was asked, why would you ride with him knowing there's blood in the car? And she told you that she didn't feel like she had a choice. She had to get to work, and that was her only way to work. As she testified to, she relied on rides from other people to and from work. She's got a daughter, got to pay the bills. She had to go to work. And that was corroborated by the text that she sent, that she was going to be late for work. When they stopped at that gas station on the way to work, she gave him money for gas. She told you that. Is it a coincidence that at 7:45, 8 o'clock in the morning, he needed gas? After just driving all around Columbia for like 45 minutes and then all the way to New Zion and all the way back to Columbia. She also told you that he looked tired. Again, is that a coincidence? He had been up all night, driving, stressing, trying to figure out how to cover this up. Friday afternoon, he fails to show up and pick her up from work. So she gets a ride, and she gets back to the house, to Mountain Brook, and what'd she tell you she did? She said she banged on the door like the police, is what she said. And then when he came to the door, he looked shook, like he'd seen a ghost. And then he appeared as though he'd been sleeping. And she was upset. She was upset because he was wearing the same clothes. The Nike shirt with the drawstrings. The same clothes. And she talked about how nasty those clothes were. Now he needed to clean himself up. And why was he in her bed? That's corroborated. When law enforcement went to Mountain Brook and they collected the evidence, they collected a pillowcase that had a spot on it that appeared to be a spot of blood. She then tells you about how she had to drive his car to go get money because she felt like she had no choice. She had to pay the rent, she had to take care of her daughter. Her concern was her daughter, even if that meant driving that car with whatever was in it. It's not like she didn't try to find out what happened in the car. She asked him about it repeatedly, and he wouldn't tell her. Interestingly enough, when she drives the car, she tells you that she had to pull the seat up, the recline, because he likes to keep it laid back. Just like you saw on that video when he was eyeballing Samantha Josephson on the corner, when that seat was leaned back. She had to pull it up so that she could drive it. She talks about how he puts on blue plastic gloves and he starts cleaning the car. He's wiping down the car and then he pulls this out. And he starts wiping it down, cleaning it right there in front of her. You think she wasn't afraid of what might happen with him sitting there holding this knife? Blood all over the car already? And he's cleaning it? She said she had seen it before, but she hadn't seen it open like that. And if you recall, she's not the only one who's seen it before. or at least something like it. Destiny Catino got up there and she said, she told you that she's seen him with a knife like that one before. What did he tell her when he asked? When she asked? Mind your business. Again. Again. She finds this rose gold iPhone in the car and asks him about that. Whose phone is this? Why is it so? It's clearly a female phone. Whose phone is that? And he blows her off, says he found it. She sees him at various points of the day putting wipes in grocery bags. He's in and out of the house. He's back and forth from the car to the trash at Mountain Brook, which later, in the trash, as you know, wipes, gloves, bloody clothes, bloody bags, bloody toilet paper rolls, bloody paper towels, bloody towels, all found in the trash in Mountain Brook. And then after all that, he goes back to 5 Points, where he's pulled over, literally blue lighted, a block from the bird dog. It wasn't until Maria saw the news about the missing girl, and on the news the next day, where not only they talked about Samantha, but they put a picture of the black Impala up. And that's when the light bulb went off for her. It made sense to her then. But she was scared. Her priority is her daughter. She had just been in a car with him, 2 feet away, with him cleaning a knife. This knife. You think she felt comfortable about telling anyone or anything at that point? No. Her concern's her daughter. No matter what she said to him, no matter how many times she asked him, he would never say what happened in that car or where the blood came from. So I ask you this. When your girlfriend repeatedly asks you, why is there blood in your car? And if you really, truly didn't know where it came from, and you truly were scared about how all this blood got in your car, what's the more reasonable response to that question? Is it to tell her, I don't know, baby, I don't know how it got there, and I'm scared, and I don't know what to do? Or his response of, mind your business? What's the more reasonable response to that situation? We heard testimony about the traffic stop the next night, about 24 hours later. Officer Kraft came in here and he told you that there was a bolo out for the Impala. Be on the lookout for the black Impala, newer model. And again, about a block away, he initiates blue lights and starts the traffic stop. And what happens on that traffic stop? What does the Impala do after the blue lights have been activated? Where does he go? He goes to turn and pull over. He goes to Saluda Avenue. And he turns down the wrong way on a one-way street again. Again. Initially, as Kraft approaches him, he's cooperative. He approaches the vehicle, asks him what he's been up to. He smells marijuana. Ask him about the marijuana. And Mr. Rowland is what? He's cooperative. He says, yeah, I was smoking earlier. Freely answering those questions at that time. But then the conversation changed. And when the conversation changed, Mr. Rowland changed. As soon as Kraft said the magic words, everything changed.
What's going on, sir? Your license on you? I'm also credit. Call me, please, former K9. No, license on you. Why not? All right, man. Who's smoking the marijuana?
I had smoked some earlier, sir, when I was at home.
All right, man, you got to step on out, man. All right, here's the deal, man. I pulled your car over because it matches the suspect. Get your hand in your pocket. What?
I pulled your car over because it matched a suspect. He didn't even get to finish his sentence before Mr. Rowland was trying to figure out, how do I get out of this now? He was cooperative until that moment when the word suspect.
All right, man, you got to step on out, man.
And then he had no choice in his mind, I guess, but to take off from him.
All right, here's the deal, man. I pulled your car over because it matches the suspect. Get your hand in your pocket. What are you, crazy? Get over here. Hey, get over here. Got one running. Hey, I'm going to release the dog.
They eventually catch him, as you know. He's checked out by EMS, no injuries, and taken into custody. An initial search of the vehicle, his vehicle, what do they find? Samantha Josephson's phone. Right next to him, between the seat and the center console. Blood all over the car. Blood on his shoe. The trinket or necklace thing hanging down from the rear view mirror. Same one on the video at Cellular City. The seat leaned back. Again. Seat leaned back in 5 points. Right when Ms. Josephson's about to be picked up. Right there. Traffic stop. This is through the rear window. Seat leaned back. Because that's how he drives his car. Some of you might be thinking, how could anyone be calm enough? How could anyone be calm enough to drive for hours with blood and or a dead girl in the back of your car? How do you not freak out when your girlfriend keeps asking you about all this blood? How could anyone go back to 5 points, a block away from where this happened, and not be nervous that they'd get caught? Well, the answer is, you got to be somebody who is capable of handling pressure, right? State's Exhibit 193. This is Mr. Rowland's personnel file from the FedEx where he worked, where Destiny Catino told you she met him. In his file, on his resume, skills profile, ability to remain calm and focus under extreme pressure and circumstances. Extreme pressure? We are literally talking about somebody trying to get away with murder. It doesn't get more pressure than that. And he himself has told you that he's prepared for that. The other reason, he thought he had gotten rid of all the evidence at this point, right? I mean, at this point of the traffic stop, 24 hours later, he's already tried to clean the car with wipes and bleach that's found in the car. He threw away the knife. It's in the trash at Mountain Brook. He threw away his bloody clothes. He threw away the bloody sheet that was in the back. All of that stuff's in the trash at Mountain Brook. But what he failed to consider was that he was driving around in the actual crime scene. And at that point, though, think about what he knew. He didn't know that law enforcement was looking for an Impala. At best, he only knew they were looking for some girl who was missing. They certainly didn't think that they were going to be looking for the girl who was in the passenger seat of his car, who doesn't look anything like Samantha Josephson. Missing white female versus black female in the passenger seat. He thought he was good to go. But it's the clothes. It keeps coming back to the clothes. The clothes link him up to virtually every part of this case. The Impala, the ATM, Mountain Brook, Cellular City, the trash, these drawstrings, these Nike drawstrings. These drawstrings keeps coming back. They keep showing up. The dark pants, you see those in the ATM and at Cellular City. Drawstrings. Drawstrings. Clearly Nate Rowland, identified by Mr. Williams as the person trying to sell the phone. Here's an ATM photo. What do you see sticking out below that jacket? That's a long, light-colored shirt. And what's found in the trash in Mountain Brook? I'm sorry, here are the pants. There's the long, light-colored shirt. And look what's found in the trash. A long, light-colored shirt. And what does it have on it? A whole bunch of blood. Keeps coming back to the clothes. The gloves. This person is wearing gloves. Nathaniel Rowland is wearing gloves. And what do we find? 2 gloves at Mountain Brook, one in the house, and this one in the trash with a discoloration consistent with having been touched by bleach. And bleach was found in his car. The jacket at the ATM, the same jacket found in his car. And what did we learn about that jacket? There were striations, marks consistent with possible claw marks or scratch marks found on that jacket. The slides. Oh, the slides. These slides. Look at that ATM picture. Red and black slides. Red and black slides taken out of the trunk and collected as evidence. What else? The bandana. Right, the bandana. Look at that ATM photo. Dollar bills all over the ATM footage. The second time when he realized he didn't have to hold his hand up here because he had the bandana that he always has and he could use that to cover his face. So he did. The same bandana he's wearing at the traffic stop by Officer Kraft. The same bandana they take off of him that night. And of course, the toboggan or beanie, black with red writing there at Cellular City, and found in the back of his car. So the question is, why not throw it all away? Why did he only throw some of it away? The Nike hoodie, the dark pants, you got to get rid of those. He's seen wearing those on Thursday. He's seen wearing them Friday. He's been wearing them for like 3 days. Got to ditch those. No question. The tan shirt, we just saw it soaked in blood. Can't keep that around. The gloves, one of them's got some sort of weird discoloration on it. The other one has blood on it. But what about the jacket? Why didn't he get rid of the jacket? It's a dark jacket, folks. It's hard to see blood on that. But not only that, there is no way that he knew the significance of that jacket. There is no way that he knew that Lieutenant Shank would be able to come in here and tell you that those marks on that jacket were consistent with somebody clawing or scratching. No way he knew about those striations. What about the slides or the beanie or the bandana? Why not get rid of those? Simple. There's no visible blood on those things. No visible blood. But there was DNA on it. Samantha Josephson's DNA is on this beanie. And there was blood. Samantha Josephson's blood, her blood, is on this. But he couldn't see it. So he didn't think he had to get rid of it. You heard about Mountain Brook and all the evidence found in the trash there, where he tried to erase the evidence. There's the bleach, the wipes, the cleaners, the bloody clothes, the knife, even the trash from his meal that he got at Wendy's. was there, mixed in with everything else. And he dumped it all in the trash at Mountain Brook. Why did he do that? Well, he's not going to put it in the trash at his sister's house. He's not going to put it in the trash at his family's house in New Zion. And he's especially not going to do that when he doesn't think that there is any connection whatsoever between him and Mountain Brook. But what he wasn't counting on was that eviction letter. Remember the eviction letter that you saw earlier that Maria Howard wrote and left in his car? It had the Mountain Brook address on it. That is the only connection. That is the only way that anybody even knew to go look at the trash in Mountain Brook. If that hadn't been found, that trash never would have been found. The knife, the clothes, the wipes, the bleach, all that stuff would have been gone. It would have been gone. Cellular City. Again, this is video out front. Again, the trinket thing hanging down. What do you see in the back, as I mentioned earlier? White sheet. You remember Oshmer told you that Mr. Rowland had to go back out and get, I think, a SIM tray is what he called it, to go with Miss Josephson's phone. What do you see here? Mr. Rowland looking for it. He's rooting around looking for it. He's got to look under the sheet. And you'll also see here again, those drawstrings. They appear again. Right there. He's digging around, trying to look under that sheet in the back, looking over in the side. You heard a lot of testimony over the last week about forensic analysis that was done in this case. Investigator Hudak talked to you about his efforts to try and get the information from the infotainment system of the Impala. Couldn't do it. Got an error message. Sent it off to the manufacturer of the software to try and get that location information from the car's infotainment system. Didn't work. Error message. The other interesting thing he told you is that the car appeared as though it had been had some sort of work done on it. And that's corroborated. Destiny Coutinho told you that she actually hit a deer driving this car some months prior. You heard about the phones, again, at great length. And I'm not going to go back through all the tower detail at this point, but I do need to point out to you the Alcatel phone that Mr. Rowland had. This is the phone that Maria texted when she said, "Where are you at?" And what were you told about that? That phone cannot be accessed for usage without somebody knowing the passcode. It has to be unlocked. It was set to lock every 30 minutes. And the testimony was that there was keypad activity on the Alcatel at 2:58. And it's set to lock after 30 minutes. But what happens over an hour and a half later at 4:36 a.m.? There's action on that phone. On the internet. Trending porn video of the day. The only way that can happen is for somebody to have unlocked the phone. That somebody is Nathaniel Rowland. You heard a lengthy testimony from the DNA analyst, Agent Dwayne. She told you a lot. She told you a lot. She told you about blood and how it can overpower touch DNA. And she told you that Samantha Josephson's blood was on everything. It was all over that car. The back seats, the headrests, both sides, the back of the seats, the center consoles, the roof, the front, the seat belt buckle receiver. The blood was everywhere. She told you that her blood was on the Nike hoodie with the drawstrings. It was on his pants. It was on his money bandana. Her blood was on his sock, his shoe. It was on the black jacket. It's on the tan shirt. It's on the glove found in the laundry basket, the blue plastic gloves, the trash, the Yankee candle bag. It was on Maria's daughter's shoe. It was also, Samantha's blood was on that envelope with that list, that weird list. And let's not forget that her blood was on the blade of this weapon. The one that he was seen cleaning in the car. Her blood, well, that's not the only DNA found on that thing, actually. Nathaniel Rowland's DNA was included as part of a mixture on the handles of this weapon, the murder weapon. It was included by way of 2 different methodologies you heard about, included in the mixture. His DNA on the handle. Samantha's DNA is also found on the cold-blooded beanie. It's on one of the red and black slides. And it's under Nathaniel Rowland's fingernails. In addition to the handle of the murder weapon, Mr. Rowland's DNA is on the Nike shirt, the pants, the blue plastic gloves, the beanie, the slides, the money bandana, and all over the inside of that car. So let's think about a few of the things that Agent Dwayne told you in addition to those results. She told you about how wearing long sleeves and gloves can decrease the likelihood of somebody leaving their DNA profile on another person. She told you that just because somebody is excluded from a profile, that doesn't mean they haven't ever touched, worn, or used that item. So the black jacket, for example, or my jacket. I think I even asked her, if I gave her my jacket, would my DNA be all over this jacket? And she said no, not necessarily. And then I asked her about these unrelated, unidentified individuals. And she told you that those profiles could have been left at any time by any person at any point that person has ever come in contact with almost any item, is essentially what she said. Any person that's come in contact with any item could leave their DNA behind. Whether it's the assembly line worker, whether it's the sales clerk, it could be the guy who actually made the car, it could be the guy who fixed the car. And we know that the Impala had work on it because Destiny told you that. Anybody, any one of those people could leave their DNA in there at any point in time. And you can't put a time on it. And that all those profiles aren't necessarily the same person. They could be hundreds of people. Can't say. You heard from the handwriting expert. And he told you that he took Mr. Rowland's FedEx personnel file and his Capital Waste personnel file. He looked at those records that had, you can look at them for yourself when you're in a jury room. There's handwritten stuff all over them. And he looked at that and he said, yep, the same person filled out both of those applications. And then he compared that to the list. This list. And he told you that there was a high degree of likelihood that the person that wrote those applications wrote this list. Duct tape, gloves, all black, flip phone, gasoline, matches. What else is important about that list? Nathaniel Rowland's fingerprint is on that list. Samantha Josephson's blood is on that list. He references duct tape. There's duct tape somewhere over here that's got his prints on it. Nathaniel Rowland's prints on duct tape, just like on that list. But you look at them for yourself. You decide if you think he wrote it. Even though Mr. Jameson told you that it's highly likely. So you heard about his prints on the list. You heard about his prints on the duct tape from the fingerprint analyst. But what else did she tell you? What's the last thing she told you about? Footprint. Samantha Josephson's footprints were on the window of Nathaniel Rowland's Impala. The inside. This was her cry for help. This was her way to try to get somebody to help her and save her from him. But it also, what it did, she left a trail She left her own trail of evidence. Her own trail leading right to the defendant. You heard from the trace guy who talked about bleach and how there's all these items in the car were consistent with bleach, and that bleach smells like chlorine, which interestingly is what Maria told you, that the car smells like chlorine. And finally, the final expert you heard from was Dr. Bieber yesterday. And you all remember that testimony. He told you about the wounds that she sustained, over 100 wounds all over her body. He went through some of the pictures with you. He described in graphic detail what happened to her. He talked about the blood loss, that there's over a gallon of blood in the human body, and there's just about this much left by the time she was found. He told you about this knife, and he told you that they were trying to figure out what kind of weapon could have caused these injuries. You have the pictures there, you look at them yourself. These weird parallel wounds, just like these two blades. And he told you that this is the unique weapon that did it. It's not just unique because it's got the two blades that are parallel, because he was confused. He said that there's single stab wounds too. Well, this one really is a multi-tool. Single stab wounds, parallel stab wounds. Nathaniel Rowland's knife is the one who killed Samantha Josephson. I'm about to wrap up. The defense is going to have an opportunity to talk to you in just a minute. There's a couple things I want to cover before I finish. Let's talk about common sense. You take your common sense in that jury room with you, and you use it when you look at this evidence and apply it as though the law tells you. Despite all of the evidence that has been presented to you that points squarely at Mr. Rowland, is there another theory that's supported by credible evidence about who could have done this? Use your common sense. Think. You would have to believe that not only did some other person kill Samantha Josephson, but that person was wearing Nathaniel Rowland's hoodie with the drawstrings, his pants, his money bandana, and his slides. You would also have to believe that this other person drove Nathaniel Rowland's car, used Nathaniel Rowland's knife, and had possession of Nathaniel Rowland's phone. Even if you believed all that, you would still have to believe that this other person drove on March 29th in the early morning hours to New Zion, of all places, in the middle of nowhere. And when they were there, that this person figured out a way to get into Nathaniel Rowland's passcode protected phone to look at a porn site? Of all the places in the world to dump a body, this person would have just picked a random secluded spot about a mile away from the Rowland house. If that's not enough, then you would have to believe that this person somehow found a way to get Nathaniel Rowland's Chevy Impala back to him without anybody knowing. And a 12th thing, as I'm told that the number 12 is important in this case, a 12th thing that you would have to believe. Whoever was driving the Impala on the 29th just so happened to drive down the wrong way of Saluda Avenue, the same road that Nathaniel Rowland turned the wrong way down on 24 hours later. 2 people driving the Impala just happened to turn down the wrong way of the same road 24 hours apart? Is it reasonable to believe any of that? No. It makes no sense. 0. The defense has tried to draw your attention to everything except the evidence that points to Mr. Rowland. He didn't have any scratches or marks on him. Well, he did. They were on the jacket. The striations. None of his DNA was found on her body. He's wearing long sleeves. He's wearing gloves. That decreases the likelihood of shedding or sweating or the passing of DNA cells. Her earring wasn't found. Her ATM card wasn't found. Her purse wasn't found in the car. Those things were of no value to him. He tried to use the card. It didn't work. He tried to use it in Sumter and Columbia, and it didn't work. He doesn't need that anymore. But the phone, her phone, that was valuable to him. He tried to sell it because he needed money because he didn't have a job. He tried to sell it, and when he couldn't sell it, it was still of value to him. That's what Maria told you. Maria told you that when she asked him about the phone, he told her that he was going to try to give it to her and try and get it reworked so that she could use it. They might say to you that there's no defects in any of the seats in the Impala, so how could all these stab wounds occur in such a confined space? Dr. Beaver told you that the crime occurred where all the blood is, and all the blood is in Nathaniel Rowland's car. Is it reasonable to think that this crime occurred anywhere other than in his car? You heard testimony about a significant bloodletting, was the term used by the crime scene agent. A significant bloodletting that occurred in that car. I appreciate your attention. I'm just about concluded. What have the themes been that we've discussed? I told you at the beginning of this closing argument that it was your job, take all the little pieces, all the facts, all of the evidence as is presented to you, put it together, and use your common sense. Use your common sense to see a clear picture of what happened March 29, 2019. The clothing, talked about that ad nauseum. Where the body was found, a mile from his house. All of the videos showing the Impala driving around, her getting in the car. Mountain Brook, all the trash is found there, the blood, the knife, all the things tying him to that location. The forensic analysis of the phones, the fingerprints, the handwriting, the autopsy. When the smoke is cleared, the picture comes clearly into focus. a clear picture of what happened, and there is only one reasonable conclusion that you can make when you clear up that picture. That conclusion is Nathaniel Rowland is guilty. I told you before, Samantha's whole life was right there. It was right there in front of her. She could have been anything that she wanted to be. And it was right there for the taking. To do whatever she wanted. The defendant did the taking. He took her from 5 points. He took her life. And he took the time to try to erase all the evidence. To try to erase her. Samantha Josephson deserved the chance to live her life. And this man, the defendant, Nathaniel Rowland, he took that chance from her. It was malicious, it was intentional, and it was cold-blooded. Ladies and gentlemen, the state of South Carolina humbly asks that upon consideration of all the evidence, you return a verdict and you find Nathaniel Rowland guilty of murder, guilty of kidnapping, and guilty of possessing a weapon. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to send you to the jury room for a break of about 10 minutes. Please do not discuss the case in the jury room during the break.